In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of the present. The worker will look at you vaguely. You have to ask him again. Once the worker understands your question, he'll lead you through a door into a hallway that looks like it's an extension of hell itself. In this hallway, you'll find nothing but darkness and the feeling of unimaginable horror. If you should hear a shriek coming from the left of you, start running towards the door you just came from, or you'll be devoured by demons yelling incomprehensible babble from mouths awash with vile poison. If you should hear a shriek coming from the right of you, start running towards the door that your path leads to. Ignore the worker and keep running until you reach the door. If you should hear another shriek coming from anywhere around you, close your eyes and pray to the gods that your death will be a swift one. Should you not hear a shriek, just follow the worker until he unlocks the door at the other end of the hallway. He'll now ask you to enter, and he'll leave. In this room, you'll only find two things: a naked girl whose left hand is a mangled stump, seemingly torn to shreds by an otherworldly maw, and the rusted keychain she's holding. You must look at the keychain and may not avert your eyes from it. You can say nothing, except ask her this one question: why do they belong together? Now move eyesight to the face of the girl. She'll look at you and tell you the most gruesome story of the present, how this present has come to be, how it is now, and eventually how it'll be. The girl will slowly move towards you. Do not move, and stay still until she's but 1 footstep away from you. She'll put the shredded piece of rod that was once her left hand on your shoulder. She'll then whisper into your ear, "The time has come, and now you must die." Do not react to this statement. Just keep staring into her eyes and eventually you'll feel something being pushed into your hand. The keychain is object 17 of 538. Only the keys that are meant for it can be put on it, and all the other keys shall be repelled. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of passion. The worker will blush and daydream. You'll have to ask him 2 more times until he finally nods and gestures you to follow him. He'll lead you into a hallway. You'll hear a muffled diesel engine, but for the moment, it does not matter. Ignore it for now. Instead, listen to any whispering you hear. If it stops, it is vital for your sanity that you shut your eyes, for a horrifying creature will emerge from the ground and after a short time leave through the ceiling. Should you hear the whispers in unknown languages until you and the warden reach a door made from stone, you are safe. Now, listen to the engine. If it keeps running, proceed and open the door. Do not even try to imagine what happens when the engine stops. Nobody has ever been able to tell after it has stopped. Now, if the door has been opened, the worker will leave you alone. Enter the door and walk straight forward until it closes. Now, you have to say the words, "Excuse me, I'd like to learn from you." If you did anything wrong, you'll be dead before you even realize it. So do not worry much about this. Should nothing happen for several dozen seconds, you may resume walking. Do this until you reach a heart that is as big as your head. Do not touch it. Instead, turn around. You'll see either the most beautiful woman or the most horrific creature your eyes have ever witnessed. The latter only appears if you have touched the still beating heart. Its sight alone will almost drive you insane and haunt you for the rest of your life. Should you see the woman, look at her eyes, nowhere else, even if she does not wear any clothes. The beauty will literally blind you and you'll be forced to wander around in her realm until the end of your life. If you're able to keep looking at her eyes, you may ask one question: are they alive? The woman will suddenly moan soundly and lay down on the ground, beginning to satisfy herself by masturbating. You must now quickly close your eyes and hold your ears shut with your hands, as her moaning will slowly destroy your mind and body, should you hear it clearly. After some time, you'll feel someone touch your right shoulder. You may now open your eyes and lower your hands. Do not turn around to whoever touched you. Instead, look at where the woman was. She'll now be gone. Only ash is what is left of her. Search within the ash for her uterus. Take it and close your eyes. Open them again after you felt something cold touch your head. You'll be back in the mental institute, behind the warden who guided you to the stone door. The uterus is object 18 of 538. It has one child left to bear. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of innocence. The worker will say nothing, but a single tear should fall from her eye. She'll guide you to a forgotten hallway in an abandoned wing of the rundown institution. She'll not enter the hall with you, but will only look into your eyes with a cautious hope, her own expression seeming to beg for salvation. Should you enter the hall, you'll not see much, save for the dirty, broken fragments of what were once beautifully carved ivory statues. Before long, you'll hear a soft whimper from the other side. Pay close attention, for if the whimper stops, then all hope is already lost. There's no use in running away. As you turn the handle of the simple wooden door on the other side, a warm and cozy light will greet your face. You'll find yourself in the bedroom of a young girl of 18 years. The girl herself will be sitting cross-legged on the floor at the foot of the bed, her only garment an open night robe, exposing the entirety of her pure body. She's the source of the tortured whimpers, and nothing you say to console her will end her torrent of stifled wails. Only if you ask her, what happened when it was first created? She'll become silent to glance up towards your face. Her beauty will render you breathless, and if you're still capable of any thought, it'll only be the realization that in her, you see everything in this world that you truly love. Suddenly, you'll realize that the girl is bleeding from her nether regions as a grotesque phallus emerges from the petite orifice between her legs. The object will pulsate with its own life, and you'll find that it is hypnotizing you. Do not look away, for you do not wish to try its patience. Soon, the room will disappear before your eyes, and you'll be standing in the most serene clearing you have ever witnessed, and all of nature's fauna that you recognize will go about their lives around you, with no fear of anything, not even death. Suddenly, though, a shadow will fall over the meadow, and you'll witness the forest all around burst into a pillar of flame. What happens next? No man can dwell on for long before going insane, but in the strength of the human mind you'll endure. In the end, you'll hear screams and moans and groans, but what'll overcome you more than anything are the quiet whimpers, the stifled cries, of all the sullied innocence of the world that was. You realize that these cries will continue to be heard all across the globe until the world's end. None can endure those near silent pleas and still maintain the slightest hope for the future. The illusion will fade, and you'll find yourself back in the room. You'll find the girl lying dead on the floor, her face a mixture of agony and horror, her already decaying body feeding the now towering phallus and giving it a sinister glow. That is object 19 of 538. If you touch it, then it'll be yours. But if you let it master you, then it'll use your body to seek and assemble all the pieces, no matter what the cost.